The air was thick with heat, but not from the weather. It was the kind of heat that started in your chest, swirled down your belly, and made your hands forget where they were. His hands very where, on my waist, sliding under my top, fingers trailing the edges of my lace bra. My breathing was heavy. I leaned against the guest bedroom wall, biting back a moan while his lips kissed down my neck. Travis, my husband's best friend. His mouth was warm and hungry. His cologne, woodsy, masculine, and familiar, filled my nose. My dress was already bunched at mid-thighs and my panties pushed to thigh-side. I felt his fingertips slip between my legs, and for a second, all I could think about was how badly I needed this. "You're shaking," he whispered, lips brushing my ear. "I know," I breathed, and just when it felt like the world was about to tip over the edge. "Wait," he whispered. "Before I go on, you need to do one thing for me. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell bell. You're about to hear the wildest, most forbidden secret I've ever told anyone. Now, let me take you back to how it all started. I married Ethan when I was 27. We met in Houston at a corporate air retreat my firm was hosting. He was smart, clean-cut, kind. Everything about him screamed stability. My friends called him the safe bet, and back then I was tired of risks. Ethan was also charming enough, and the sex was decent at first. He made me feel seen, and after a few whirlwind months, we moved in together, got engaged, and then tied the knot in a pretty ceremony just outside Austin. Suburban dreams, white picket fences, a golden retriever named Max. You know, the usual, but things, and not overnight. Slowly, quietly, Ethan started working longer hours. Promotions meant more stress, more late nights, more time away. I understood. Really, I did. But after 2 years off marriage, I started feeling like a well-kept trophy. A clean kitchen, apple-light smile, a hole to fill on Friday nights if you and too tired. And then there were his friends, Travis and Mike. They were a ways around, especially Travis. He was Ethan's college buddy. The kind of guy you'd label a flirt the second he opened Ethan's mouth. Tall, broad-shouldered, that rugged, Texas boy look that made women do double takes at the gas station. His confidence had no brakes. Mike was to front, quiet, observant. He worked in it, talked slow, and watched everything, especially me. It started with jokes. Travis would wink when I bent over to grab a beer from the cooler. Mike would linger in the kitchen just a little longer than needed while I cooked. It felt harmless at first. A boost to who doesn't like a little yanchin? But one night it stopped being harmless. We were hosting a barbecue. Ethan, his friends, and a few neighbors. The grill was hot, music loud, beers flowing. Ethan had one too many. And by 1000 p.m. he was passed out on the couch. I was clearing up when Travis came up behind me, grabbed a beer from the fridge and leaned a little too close. "You always look good in this dress," he said, his voice low. I turned, raised an eyebrow. "You've seen me wear this before." "Yeah," he smirked, "but tonight, you're wearing it for me." I should have laughed it off. Should have told him to stop, but I didn't. Instead, I smiled. "Don't flatter yourself." He stepped in real close enough that I could smell beer on his breath. "You're too finetto be stuck with a man who passes out by 10 every night." I froze. It was the first time someone had seen me not as a wife, not as a homemaker, as a woman. I should have walked away, but I didn't. Instead, he whispered, "Then maybe I need someone to remind me what being seen feels like." It wasn't that I planned it, not at first, but the idea of him, his confidence, his boldness kept me awake at night. I'd lay in bed next to Ethan, fantasize about Travis's hands on me, his mouth, the way his voice dipped when flirted. 2 weeks later, Ethan invited Travis over to watch a game. They drank, laughed, talked about some old college memory. I excused myself, said I was going to bed early, but I stayed awake, waiting, listening. Ethan eventually dozed off. I walked back down in my robe. Travis was still on the couch. He looked up and smiled, couldn't sleep. I didn't say a word, just walked up, sat beside him, and let the robe slide just enough to show my thigh. His eyes darkened. "You, sir." I nodded, and just like that, the line was crossed. I knew it was wrong. I knew it the moment I climbed on top of him, roberly hanging from my shoulders. His hands gripping my thighs like he had been starving and I was his last meal. But I didn't stop because being wanted, really wanted, is something you can't unfile once you taste it. Travis, madam, feel that every time, every whisper, every touch. Every time he pulled Minto, his arms like I was something more than just Ethan's wife. And then Kamethi night that sealed it. The night Webeth stepped in too deep to ever pretend it didn't happen. It was poker night. Ethan used to host poker nights once a month, usually just the three of them, Ethan, Travis, and Mike. I always met them snacks, poured them drinks. Anthony quietly disappeared to give them their guy time. But this time, Ethan asked me to stick around for a while. Hess said it felt good having me there, like it kept the energy fun. I played along, dressed in a simple black tank top with no bra and little gray shorts that thugged me in just the right places. He pretended not to notice the way Travis' eyes locked on me when I leaned over Theatable to collect empty bottles. Mike said little, but his gaze lingered, always watching, always quiet. By that time, the fourth round of whiskey hit. Ethan was slurring. "I'm going to Gokrash," he mumbled. "You two finish without me." And he did. Right there on the recliner. Out cold. I looked at Travis and raised an eyebrow. "So much for poker night." He grinned. "Guess we're down to strip poker, huh, Elod?" Rolling my eyes. "Careful, I'm competitive." Mike stood up and grabbed his jacket. Issued, "Probably head out." He looked at him a little too long before saying, "Yautwo, have fun." There was something a booth way he said it. Like he knew, like, wanted something to happen. Once the door shut behind him, Travis leaned forward, elbows on knees. "You're a dangerous. You know that." "How so?" "You pretend like you don't know how hot you are, but you do." I tilted my head, letting my fingers slide slowly up me thigh. "Do I?" His eyes darkened. He didn't ask this time. He stood up, walked around the table, and pulled me up by the wrist. Our lips collided hard. Hungry, urgent. Like the last time Wazine. His hand was under my tank top in seconds. I gasped as he pushed me up against the fridge, knocking Magnet's tough floor. "Bedroom?" he asked between kisses. I shook my head. "Couch," I whispered now. He didn't need convincing. He tore off my shorts and panties in one pull, laid me back on the cushions, and slid his tongue between my thighs like a manwo knew exactly what he was doing. He bit my lips so hard I nearly drew blood. Ethan was just 10 feet away, snoring in the recliner, completely unaware Thathis's best friend had his wife moaning under him just across the room. It was dangerous, it was insane. And it was exactly what he wanted. We kept going week after week. Quickies in the laundry room, car rides that tended in motel parking lots. I lived in a double life of guilt and euphoria. Ethan never suspected a thing. He'd kiss him goodnight, tell me he was proud of him for keeping the house together, and fall asleep while I texted Travis under covers. But the truth, it wasn't just about Travis anymore. Because then came Mike. It was a Thursday night. Ethan had gone on a 3-day work trip to Dallas. Travis was busy and I figured it'd be Aquiot night for wine and TV, until I go to message, "Mike, you free tonight?" He blinked at the screen. Mike, the Cheyenne, the one who always looked at Melik. He knew more than he said. I texted back, "What's up?" He replied, "I saw you the night of poker." My heart stopped. I typed fast. "What do you mean you saw him, Mike? You and Travis. You thought he left, but I forgot my watch." Came back quietly and "Yeah, I saw you." I nearly threw my phone. But his next message froze me. "Mike, I'm not mad. I'm just wondering why him. Why not me?" That was the moment my stomach flipped. I waited an hour before he replied, "Come over." He didn't waste time. By 1000 p.m., he was at my door. I opened it in nothing but a silk robe again. He didn't say anything at first, just stepped inside, looked me up and down. "You sure?" he asked. I nodded, and then he kissed me. Mike was different. He wasn't rough like Travis. He didn't rush. He didn't take unfolded me. He undressed me piece by piece, touched me like I was sacred, whispered things in my ear that made me in ways I didn't know were possible. That night wasn't fast. It was long, deep, full of eye contact and soft moans and whispered confessions. And for the first time, I felt something more than lust. I felt wanted as a person, and that scared me more than anything else, because now it wasn't just a secret affair. It was too. If you're still watching, I know what you're thinking. I'm a mess. Maybe I am. But if you're here, then you're clearly hooked, so go ahead, like this video, share it, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? You haven't even heard the wildest part. Because when Mike found out everything, he didn't run away. He wanted more, and wasn't the only one. There's something terrifying and addictive about getting away with a thing. No suspicion, no confrontation, no consequences. By the time I was juggling both Travis and Mike, It wasn't just lust anymore, it was control. It was adrenaline. It was the high of knowing that while my husband smiled across the dinner table, kissed my cheek, and told me he loved him, his two best friends were doing things to my body he couldn't have. Mike and I didn't stop after that first night. It became our ritual. When Ethan worked late or traveled, Mike would swing by sometimes under the excuse of helping me fix the Wi-Fi or dropping off something Ethan forgot. But behind the closed door of our bedroom, yes, our bedroom, it was something else. Mike was different from Travis in all right ways. Travis was fire, fast, wild, unapologetic. Mike was water deep, slow, emotional. He asked questions. He wanted to know what I liked, what he thought about when I touched myself. He looked into my eyes when he was inside me. And when I came, it felt like me entire body unraveled. But what made it even more dangerous? They knew about each other. I didn't find out until the night it all came to a head. It was a rainy Friday. Ethan had just left for a weekend work retreat in San Antonio. The house was quiet, peaceful. At around 8 p.m., Travis texted me. "Travis, you alone?" I replied, "Of course." 10 minutes later, the doorbell rang. I expected just him. But when I opened it, Mike was with him. My heart dropped. "What is this?" They stepped inside. Travis shut the door behind them. Mike looked me straight in the eye and said, "We need to talk." I stood frozen in the living room while they sat across from like two calm prosecutors. "I know you've been with both of us," Travis said. "We've talked about it." And I whispered, arms crossed over my heart pounding. "And we're not mad," Mike said. "We just want to take this further," Travis added, leaning back with that cocky smile. My throat went dry. "Further? What does that mean?" Mike's voice was gentle. "It means we don't have to sneak anymore. We don't mind sharing." I blinked. "You're kidding." "We're not," Travis said. "We both want you, and you clearly want both of us. So not all of us." I laughed nervously. "You're talking about a threesome." Travis smirked. "Is that what you want to call it?" My breath hitched. I looked at both of them. The rugged charm of Travis, the quiet heat of Mike. And for the first time, I didn't feel like I was cheating. I felt powerful the first time it happened. I was trembling. They came over the next night. No games, no poker, just me in a silk robe, sitting on the edge of the bed, waiting. Mike kissed me first. Slowly, deeply, he whispered, "You're beautiful." Then Travis pulled me up and kissed the other side of my neck. "You're ours tonight." They undressed me together, piece by piece, and then they took turns. One behind me, one in front, hands everywhere, mouths everywhere. For the first time in me life, I didn't know which direction to moan in. I just let go completely, fully, like a woman who had nothing to lose and everything to gain. It wasn't just physical anymore. Mike started texting me sweet things. Travis and dirty voice notes in the middle of the day. They started competing subtly, trying to see who could make me feel better. Who I texted first, who I saw more, and I let it happen. I bathed in the tension, because for the first time since my honeymoon, I felt alive. But of course, nothing that intense stays easy for long. Travis started getting jealous. He wanted more nights alone, more control. He didn't want to share me like some community toy, he said. Mike, on the other hand, wanted more than sex. He started asking questions about me, about whether I was really happy, about whether I could ever leave. That scared me, because I never planned on leaving. Ethan was stability, money, reputation. But Travis and Mike, they were fantasy, passion, escape. One night, after a particularly intense session with both of them, our derangement, I laid naked between them, trying to catch my breath. Travis reached over, caressed my cheek, and said, "You ever think about telling him?" I froze. "Ethan," he nodded. "What if we did tell him? Maybe he'd be into it. You never know these days." Mike cut in. "Don't be stupid. You'd ruin her life. She's a grown woman. She's not happy." "I am happy," I snapped. "I just want more. That doesn't mean I want to blow up my marriage." They looked at each other, then at me, then back at each other. And in that moment, I realized something. This wasn't just fun for them anymore. They were falling for me, both of them. They say playing with fire will eventually get you burned. But what if you love the heat? What if the burn feels better than anything else you've ever known? That night, the night we did it, while my husband was asleep upstairs, was the night I knew there was no turning back. No pretending I was just bored or lonely. I wasn't. I was choosing them. Travis, Mike, both of them. Ethan had just come back from a long business trip. He wasted, worn out. I did what any good wife would do, gave him a hot meal, rubbed his shoulders, kissed his neck, even let him make love to me that night, soft, predictable, the way we always did. Heffel asleep with a smile, snoring peacefully, unaware that his wife was still wide awake, burning. At 12:47 a.m., my phone buzzed on silent. Travis, we're outside. Back door. My heart thundered. I looked at Ethan, deep asleep, face calm, and slide out of bed. I didn't even put on underwear, just slipped into a silk robe and crept downstairs, silent as a whisper. They were waiting. Travis leaned against the door frame, hoodie on, eyes dark with hunger. Mike stood beside him, hands in his pockets, jaw clenched. You sure about this? Mike asked. I nodded. Don't say a word. Just follow me. We didn't go to a hotel. We didn't sneak to the garage. We did it right there in the living room below our bedroom, with Ethan fast asleep just a floor above us. Travis yanked the robe open. My barrackist rose and fell with every breath. He bent me over the arm of the cush without a single word. Mike sat down, watched me, stroked himself as I moaned, face buried in a cushion to muffle feast. When Mike joined, it was almost too much. Hands grabbing, lips biting, whispers like sins against my skin. You'll love this, don't you? Your husband's right upstairs. He doesn't touch you like we do. They weren't wrong. And the truth, I did love it. We went for hours, took breaks, started again. At one point, I was on Minnie's head in Mike's lap while Travis gripped my hips from behind. And in the middle of it all, my husband texted me, Ethan, where are you? Thought you were in bed. I froze, panting, drenched. I wiped me mouth, picked up my phone, and texted back. Downstairs, got hungry, be up soon. Mike chuckled, Travis grinned, and then they kept going. It was like a drug. I felt drunken power, on pleasure, on the danger. And when we finished around 3:14 a.m., I kissed them both goodbye at the back door, and crept into the shower, like nothing ever happened. Slid under the covers next to Ethan. He stirred, wrapped his arm around me, and mumbled, love you. I smiled in the dark. I love you, too. And maybe part of me still did, but not in the same way. Note after that night, it didn't stop there. Travis and I still hooked up when the opportunity came. Mike became more of an emotional affair. Texts during the day, soft kisses in secret, even long drives where we just ducked and touched and teased. And Ethan, still oblivious, still loving, still mine. You probably think I'm terrible. Maybe I am. But let me ask you something, if your husband stopped noticing you. If two gorgeous, eager, and deeply attentive men offered you passion, intensity, and total desire, and you knew you'd never get caught, would you really say no? This is where the story ends. But the truth, I still live it. Every time Ethan leaves town, every time I get a you alone text, if you've listened this far. Thank you for letting him confess. If this made your heart race, or if you just need more secrets, like mine, like this video, share it, and make sure you're subscribed, because next time, it might be your neighbor, your wife, your friend, or maybe you. I still look at my husband sometimes and wonder if he knows something deep down. But he never asks, and I never tell because his friends became my secret.